You ever seen Mystic Mine burn with one Mystic Mine? Well, that's a story for today. Happy Thursday, everybody! Welcome back to OCG Thursday. We have some actually interesting stuff for you guys. So the first list we're going to be looking at here is Cyber's Invoked. And before you're like, really? Cyber's Invoked? Yes, actually. So this is actually kind of interesting. So they can actually capitalize and use Alistair to set up initial negates while they can basically start climbing up through, you know, all of their Code Talker cards. And, I mean, Heats will exist. Getting the ability to quick effect, pay 1,000 life to draw a card. And the only summoning conditions are what? 2 Cyber's monsters with different attributes? Oh yeah, by the way. So, you can start stepping on into Cybers off of our friend Normal Summon Alistair search, because, you know, hey look, it's a Cybers monster. Combo, by the way. So, we have triple copies of Alistair the Invoker, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Standard story here. You're going to need hand traps to capitalize and punish the opponent. And what better way to do it than with, well, Ash Blossom. We have triple copies of Backup Secretary. If you control a Cybers monster, you get to special summon it from your hand for free. Alright, we also have triple copies of Code Generator here. So the cool thing with all of these Code Generator extenders is if a Cybers monster you control would be used as link material for a Code Talker summon, so you have what? Transcode. This is not unfortunately one, but that's fine. You have Decode Talker. You also have Code Talker. Your basic things here are going to be used to just capitalize and use it as link material. It's so good. Like free extenders, baby. Alright. We also have the one Cybers gadget. This just produces a gadget or a little guy when he leaves the field. And he brings back a level, what is it, level 2 or lower monster in your graveyard. We also have, of course, one DD Crow, more hand traps. We also have the Dot Scraper, our dual-sided extender. Triple copies of Effect Veiler, triple copies of Maxi, triple copies of our second card that's going to allow us to link with it in hand. So remember, if a Cybers monster you control be used for the link material for a Code Talker monster, this card in your hand also gets to be used as material. So as you're climbing on up into win conditions here, or you're setting up Decode Talker Heatzel here to draw cards, free material. Oh, also they all have that floating effect here. This one gets access to another Cybers monster. This one lets you send a Cybers, or add it to your hand, depending on how you're doing it. We also have a singular Nibiru. I almost swear that this deck would want to be playing Designator just so that we can ping this, but alright. We have triple copies of Parallel Exceed for full extensions, 2 copies of Called by the Grave, 1 Cyanite Money, 2 copies of Invocation, 2 Magical Meltdowns, triple copies of Pot of Desires, 1 Terraforming, and of course we have the 1 Cynet Conflict, 1 Impure Order, and triple copies of Solemn Steve Reich, wrapping up the main deck here. Next deck here we have the 1 Transcode, the 1 Splash Mage, the 2 copies of Almirage, the 1 Link Spider, we have 1 copy of Link Disciple, 1 copy of Heatzel, 2 copies of Code Talker, 1 Artemis, 2 Access Code, 2 copies of Makaba, and 1 Kaliga. So deck here we have triple Lancia, 1 more Nibiru, triple copies of Retaliating Sea, because, you know, this actually searches for Max C off of its floating effect. I love that they just get to abuse this. We also have triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Feather Duster, 2 copies of Lightning Storm, and 2 copies of Dimensional Barrier, wrapping up Code Talker Invoked. And it's sad because, like, your Invoke package is a whole, like, 7-8 cards in your deck because of terraforming. So, real original, right? Next up, we have OCG Tri-brigade. Now, OCG got this wonderful card called Bear Bloom of the Solid Assault. This should be coming out in our next set, actually. So it's 2 Tri-brigade monsters to make it, or it's also a beast so you can cheat it out. So you can discard 2 cards, target 1 of your banished level 4 or lower beast, beast warrior, and a winged beast monsters, and special summon it. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. You cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for Tri-brigade monsters, and you can add a Tri-brigade spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. we go searching for Revolt here. Now remember, Revolt special summon a number of beastware and or winged beast monsters that are banished and or in your graveyard, but negate their effects, and then immediately after this effect resolves, you're going to perform a link summon using those cards. Basically, before you want to start abusing this search effect to get into the Revolt, you're going to set up the rest of your generic combo, which literally, hey, hi, Double Dragon Lords. Now remember, this particular version for the OCG is not abusing Lyricalisk like the rest of our metagame is at this point in time, which is a very nice change of pace, all things considered. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 2 copies of DD Crow, 1 Pankratops, triple copies of Maxi, 1 copy of Nibiru, triple copies of Gamma, 1 copy Rescue Cat, triple copies of Fractal, triple copies of Karis, triple copies of Kit, triple copies of Nerval, 1 copy of Mr. Driver, and then we have triple copies of Tenki, because, you know, searching for our good cards is really good. We have 1 Foolish Barrel, 1 Monster Reborn, triple copies of Pot of Desires, a single talent, by the way. Do observe, though, like, all of these lists here are not playing the Noblemen, which is actually very interesting. Like, I guess because, like, the format's kind of diversified a little bit, you don't have to abuse it. We have 2 copies of Infinite Permanence and triple copies of Tri-Brigade Revolt. Extra deck here, we have triple copies of Shirag, 1 copy of Regal, 1 copy of Miss Frigette, 2 copies of Bear Bloom, 1 Almirage, 1 Unicorn, 1 Halvasta, the Desperate Doom Eagle, 1 Apollosi, 1 Double Dragon Lords, 1 Access Code, 1 Zeus, and 1 Beelze. Steal the opponent's Link monster, attack with it, make Zeus. That's cute. We have 1 copy of Alpha, 2 copies of Lancia, 2 copies of Ghost Bell, 1 Nibiru, 2 copies of Skullmeister, 1 Feather Duster, 2 copies of Lightning Storm, 1 Talents, 2 copies of Twin Twister, and 1 copy of Imperial Order, wrapping up Tri-Brigade for you guys. And like I said, once we get Bear Bloom, it will open up the doors a little bit. That discard cost is actually really good. Dumping those 2 extra pieces into the graveyard for you to capitalize on and further extend out into different link materials is actually really freaking good. Do not underestimate that, all right? Like, secretly why the card's good. And, I mean, hey, searching for Revolt is really good as well. All right, and the last list that we actually have for you guys today is Mystic Mindburn. This is something that Natalia has been messing around with on Dueling Book, and it's just kind of hilarious, actually, seeing how much you can actually struggle with a single copy of Mystic Mind, because you always know, even if this card actually did go to 1 in the TCG, you know there will be that one duelist out there that is looking for a way to try to abuse it to some degree, which I think is absolutely hilarious. The interesting part about the OCG is they also get multiple copies of Final Countdown, actually, in terms of abuse. Now, we're not trying to bulk down on extra copies of this, and I'm not quite sure how successful this will actually be in testing, but this is something that's been actually joked about a little bit. So, we have triple copies of Cauldron of the Old Man, triple copies of Demise of the Land. Sad it does become a dead draw after a little bit, but you effectively want to abuse and get to this ASAP. We have triple copies of Field Barrier, but of course we need to protect our only win con here. We have 1 copy of Final Countdown, triple copies of Goddess Scold's Oracle, 1 copy of Mystic Mind, triple copies of Pot of Duality, 2 copies of Extra. We don't really care too much about our extra deck, you know, hence everything that we have here. We have triple copies of Pot of Prosperity for further filtering. And then we have basic stuff here of triple copies of Dark Bribe, 1 copy of Metaverse, 2 copies of Ojama Duo, triple copies of Ojama Trio, triple copies of Skill Drain, triple copies of Solemn Judgment, and triple copies of Trap Trick. Ooh, we want to set the Ojamas. Extra deck down here doesn't really matter. We have 1 Totally Awesome, triple Ultimate Falky, 1 copy of Omega, Majestic Stars, Majestic Reds, a Last Warrior combo, and triple Exterio. So deck here we have triple Droll. Then we have, of course, Natalia. Triple copies of Dark Rule No More, 2 copies of Prohibition, 2 copies of Heavy Storm Duster, 1 Macro Cosmo, and triple copies of Solemn Strike, wrapping up this chunk of deck profiles for OCG Thursday. So, what do you guys think about these relatively interesting lists? Guys, make sure you smash the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button down below, and tell me what you guys think about this video, and I'll see your beautiful face back here later in the day for some more cool, awesome content. Peace out, guys. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCole40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCole40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcolegames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.